Greenpeace is moving on. According to Gudmundsson, today the big money spinner is whales. Greenpeace has launched a global campaign to save them from commercial hunters and to stop the communities of the high north from using traditional killing methods, methods Greenpeace calls inhumane. It's a highly emotional crusade, and the money is pouring in, overseas and here at home. Magnus says it's not about saving the whale at all. He says it's all about making money.
I dispute that. I dispute it because, in actual fact, New Zealanders give us money to do many issues, not just whaling.
I've just come back from 4 months down in Antarctica on this ship. Now, we were down there, we had spent about 3 months actually in Antarctica, about 4 months at sea. We were in some really rough seas. We were taking Force 11s, Force 12s. Our helicopter got destroyed. We were feeling sick. We were feeling unpleasant. We weren't down there to make money. We are not down there on some great money-making scam. We're down there to try and save whales. And we're down there to try and save whales because we think it's important to save them and because the people of New Zealand and the people of the world want us to save them. Now, if Magnus doesn't like that, if Magnus has some difficulty with that and he thinks that's wrong, fine, I plead guilty. I'm sorry, but that's what we believe in and that's what we're down there to do.
Oh, but there's an awful lot of emotional manipulation going on as well. You don't just say, come on, we have a campaign here. You are really pulling on those old heartstrings. Greenpeace is famous for it.
And why not? Why not? Because the public of New Zealand get fired up about good things in their lives, and saving whales is good.
Greenpeace calls the killing of whales a senseless slaughter, a calculated genocide of noble creatures who are almost human. They say most whale species are already commercially extinct. You get the impression whales have been virtually wiped out, until you talk to the scientists, who say there are hundreds of thousands of whales, maybe millions, in the ocean. Once again, Gudmundsson says Greenpeace is distorting the truth.
This magnificent animal that is being introduced to you doesn't exist. This is a mixture of 80 or so animals put together in one as a package to sell people the notion that we have a holy creature in the ocean. These animals are no more holy than any other animal on land.
But you know, you listen to Greenpeace and you would swear that whales were in threat of extinction. And what I hear from people like Magnus, who lives in an area where there are lots of whales, that there are tens, hundreds of thousands of whales all over the oceans. But so why are you saving them?
Yeah, but
they
why should we have to talk about figures about whales?
Well,
I mean, we don't
not?
talk about figures about human beings, do we?
But
should we
whales
just
are
deplete
not
some of the human beings?
But whales are not human beings, are they?
But who are we to say that they aren't a highly intelligent species of the sea? We shouldn't be making judgment on them. And we shouldn't also be making judgment on how many there are in the sea and whether or not, because there is this number, 1 million, one or 2 million of one species, that we should kill them.
But Greenpeace would like to kill something, and that's Gudmundsson's criticism. Greenpeace is waging a legal war to muzzle Magnus. Last year, it was that court case in Norway. Last month, when Greenpeace New Zealand learned he was coming here, their lawyers fired off warnings. And just this week, Greenpeace New Zealand slapped a defamation suit on Gudmundsson in another bid to shut him up. Clearly, Greenpeace views this filmmaker as a serious threat. That probably explains why they've been keeping secret files on him for the past 4 years. How would you feel if we told you that Greenpeace apparently has been keeping secret files on you, files that we believe go back all the way to 1989?
I find it rather shocking.
The files have headings like what to do about Magnus and reveal one dangerous effect of the Gudmundsson affair was that he showed Greenpeace could be hurt. Our aim is to undermine public support for him with activities directed at discrediting him. You sound like public enemy #1.
Obviously, yes. It's quite interesting. Like this one here. Gudmundsson still travels around damaging Greenpeace simply by having more info on a few particular events than we do ourselves.
We're not talking about fairly low-level Greenpeacers, are we?
No,
How high up are these people?
These people are high, they're top of the line. These people that are writing this stuff, they are Greenpeace International. These are the leaders of the entire outfit, and this is the message down the line to their troops.
One of those leaders? Duncan Curry, Greenpeace International's lawyer.
No, we've requested a declaration. A declaration that these statements are false, essentially.
Curry just happened to be in New Zealand during Gudmundsson's visit. Here's what he had to say about how best to deal with them back in 1991. He's quoting ancient Chinese warlord Sun Tzu. Adapt as you face the enemy without letting them know what you're going to do. It seems a curious irony. An organization with such non-violent ideals adopting such warlike tactics. 60 Minutes decided to bring the warring factions face to face. We wanted to know what Greenpeace had to say about the secret files and other things.
I would definitely like to know whether you support the people that are giving you money to save the whales, to save this and that.
So
do they know that you have an operation going, spy operation?
We don't have a spying operation on you, Magnus. I think
this file is definite proof of it.
Well, it looks, listen,
do you think if people gave us money, do you think if people gave us money, they would expect us to just sit back and say nothing as you came round and gave your opinion on whaling and gave your stories and tried to tell them they were all being lied to?
But Magnus says, just a minute, hold on. Gentlemen, please let a lady speak. The fact of the matter is that I think most people in New Zealand, let alone other countries, would be shocked to discover that a guy like this is perceived by such a big organization as being an enemy that somehow has to be destroyed because he's been damaging the cause. Now, how many other people are there like Gudmundsson? And, I mean, Nikki, what do you think of this? Take a look at it. What do you think of that?
Tell me, did you read anything here that you've highlighted that says that we wish to destroy him? I mean,
there are, you take a look at that, of course.
Or is there secret stamped all over these documents?
They're internal files that are being networked.
And how many other organisations?
They talk about him being,
what they think are their adversaries.
So you think this is all right, Nikki? It's a straight question. You think this is okay?
Yeah, I do.
To deal with somebody like Gudmundsson?
This is a very open document. There's nothing secret about it.
Well, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. There's nothing in here that says that you want to destroy
Have you read it?
You haven't read it. You'd better have a read.
It says that you want to destroy
Have you read it?
It talks about discrediting Gudmundsson. It talks about going into his personal life. It talks about how he has damaged your cause because of some of the criticisms he's raised. And I'll tell you, it looks like something I'd see in Richard Nixon's reign in the White House, not something I'd see in Greenpeace.
Greenpeace is an international organisation. We have to ensure that when people like Magnus who want to attack and make false and libelous allegations against us, we have to ensure that we can watch what he does and follow him around the world.
Meantime, Greenpeace had some questions of their own.
Are you a plan for the fishing industry? They've paid you money to come here?
I don't speak on behalf of the fishing industry. I don't speak on behalf of the whaling industry. I don't speak on behalf of any nation at all. I speak on behalf of myself and my research.
Have you ever received money from the Icelandic government?
I have not.
Have you never been, were you not in 1988 and again in 1991 paid by the Icelandic Ministry of Fisheries?
For what?
Were you given any funding for the making of your film and for the defense of your... You categorically deny that.
I categorically deny that. Your information is incorrect.
But where is the proof? Where is the proof?
Where is Magnus's proof? We're trying to get hold of our proof. Where is Magnus's proof?
Proof that I have not received money? How on earth, you know, you don't get receipts for not receiving money, can you?
And what about the controversy over how many whales there are? Enter Mike Donahue, government scientist and whale expert.
Greenpeace brochure from Australia, claiming that there are only 500 blue whales remaining on this earth. What do you think of such disinformation, that false information that is put repeatedly to the public? You know better, you know yourself that this number is incorrect. Of course, they should know.
Sure. It's easy enough to make mistakes in the massive technical data. I would never write that,
this is not a mistake.
You would never write that as an independent, objective, scientific type.
We believe it doesn't matter what number, 500, 5,000, 5 million whales
Why don't you just say so then? Why do you have to falsify? Why do you have to print false information? Why don't you just say your stand then? Greenpeace will never, under any circumstances whatsoever, accept any whale being killed.
Well, that's not what our
This is not environmental issue. This is animal rights.
You know perfectly well that's not what our position is. Our position is that we are opposed to commercial whaling.
The tactics that Greenpeace has used around the world, it is a master at media manipulation and public manipulation.
We've always done...
You pull on the heartstrings, you make millions and millions of dollars.
Well, we've always done our best. Our whole key is to try and get publicity. If you're accusing us of getting as much publicity as we possibly can for environmental issues, I plead perfectly guilty.
We're not talking about publicity.
If it wasn't for that,
we're talking about false information being fed to the public.
Tonight, Magnus Gudmundsson is back in Iceland, but the debate here rages on.